Have you ever felt bad about blocking someone or being guilt tripped into unblocking somebody that you rightfully blocked? Well, I'm here to tell you, don't feel bad. It's part of the natural process. Blocking to protect your peace is the answer in 2023. Welcome to the Gifted Goddess podcast. It's your host, Idol, where we have conversations on how to rearrange your life the way you want it. So there's this quote I saw, which was, "No one is above cutting off or getting blocked, especially when it costs my peace." Okay, this is not exactly the same quote, but that's the message of the quote. And when I saw that, I was like, I resonated with it so much so, because this year is really a year for me where I prioritize my peace over everything. Whether it's work, people, friends, family members, acquaintances, I really prioritize my peace. And my peace, it doesn't mean zen. It means being true to myself. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels out of place, if something feels like, oh, there's deception going on, or whenever I speak to this person, it drains my energy, it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. And this is irrespective of time, space, duration of the relationship and so forth. Because essentially what it is we only have so much energy. All of us. It's the same as we have 24 hours. Everyone has the same 24 hours. And what we do with it counts. I've noticed the more I distance myself from people that drain my energy, the more I'm receiving, or the more the people in my life that enter are those that nourish my spirit, where we have conversations, and after that conversation I feel supercharged. I feel like, yes, I can do X, Y, and Z. And it's a two-way thing, because essentially when you are on this journey, you're working on yourself, you're conscious, and you're doing things with consciousness, you're practicing that presence of mind. People feel that. Why do people feel that? People feel it is because even in conversations, instead of you thinking the next thing you're about to say, you're opening up the space for them to be themselves. And automatically, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel felt. Naturally, that can become addicting. It can become addicting if the other person, the person that's being seen, that's being felt, that feels like there's a space that's created for them, doesn't do it for themselves. Now they start to identify that feeling with the person that creates that space, or that person that allows them to be themselves. Whereas they have the power within themselves to create that for themselves. But because we are in a world filled with distractions, filled with so many things that are going on at the same time, we then start to play and think small. Meaning now we think, okay, I felt that good at that time when I spoke to that person. So it's that person that makes me feel good. When it's not that person that makes you feel good, that person is only holding space where we are now in this present moment. And as you're present, you're practicing presence in this now. You're literally ceasing time and space. You're ceasing time because the past and the future are irrelevant because you're in the now. And space, you're creating space because space is what's being created now in this here. You're aware of the stillness. You're aware of the space that you guys are holding. You're aware of the conversation that's going on. You're present. You're feeling the energy of the other person, right? So the person that's creating the space where somebody can be present, where somebody can be in the now, is always created with love. That space is always created with love. And now if the person is not mindful or is not conscious, they start to identify that feeling with the person that's helping them support to create the space where they're present in the now, right? And now it becomes an addiction. And now when that thing is taken away, that sense of being present, being in the now is taken away, it becomes something they feel like they lost. Whereas it's never something that's lost because it's within that person to begin with in the first place. Because if it wasn't in that person, then they wouldn't be able to feel it in the first place. So certain people are just catalysts that help show you to yourself. I always like to say, I like to hold up the mirror to people. So when someone's like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this, or oh my gosh, you make me feel X, Y, and Z, or even my clients, my coaching clients, I'll be like, all I do is just hold up the mirror. Everything that you're feeling, everything that you're experiencing, you already are. So it really comes down to accountability. It really does boil down to accountability. It boils down to doing the work. Shadow work is never pretty. Like, it's never pretty to be like, okay, you know what? These are my shortcomings. This is what I need to work on. But it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying to do that work. It's so satisfying to listen to your own inner compass. It's so satisfying to know that there's more out there for you, And I feel people get attached to situation or get attached to titles, get attached to things. And when I say this, I get attached to things as well. So don't get me wrong. Like, I do catch myself sometimes. Like, there's certain people that I catch myself sometimes with, and I'm like, idol, this isn't healthy. Is this healthy? Is this healthy? Or is this the ego trying to slip in and do stuff? So obviously I catch myself sometimes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you can bless somebody else's timeline with this video. Going back to the quote that no one's above blocking, especially when it's costing your peace, is tremendously important. Most of us will be having issues or having drama that's not caused by necessarily us, but it's caused by the things we allow into our space. Meaning, if you know this person always comes with drama, always fights when they're out, then you don't need to be hanging around with them. And then we as humans, or the ego, tries to rationalize, yeah, but I've known them for 15 years, or yeah, but you know what, deep down they're not bad, and I guess it's okay, I know how to check them. And why do that to yourself? Why start negotiating with yourself? You're basically negotiating your peace away. Nah, honestly, that ain't happening. Not on my watch. Literally, I've blocked some people and they know they were blocked, and they would come back and be like, oh, what happened? How come you don't speak? And I'm like, listen, I'm matching people's energy. What you give to me is what you get back. And that's how I'm keeping my peace. And like, okay, cool, they understand. They actually understand it, because now they're starting to move differently. But it's obviously moving differently not because I'm telling you to move differently. It's moving differently because, like I said, I'm matching everyone's energy. So if you give me a crumble, you get a crumble back. If you give me flowers, you get flowers back. So it's literally, I'm matching your energy. I don't overextend myself. And it's a nice, peaceful state, because you have more energy to do other things. Like, I have more energy to do this podcast. I have more energy to be creative. I have more energy to pour into myself. And yeah, there's nothing better than pouring into yourself, because remember, you are 24/7 with yourself. So if you are 24/7 with yourself, it makes sense to pour into yourself. That way, you are vibing at the highest possible version of yourself, and things run a lot smoother. So with that being said, guys, protect your peace at all times. Your peace is something that should not be sacrificed or compromised because of family members, because of this, that, and the third. Your peace is your peace, whatever that looks like. Love and light, and I'll catch you in the next one.